So now we come to biology and our Christian worldview. Yes. Biology is a big subject. Yes. Especially for the evolution, biology is so basic. Biology deals with the origin of life. The key question in biology is, what is the origin of life? That's a key question dealt in biology. The key idea is science is relearning an old question. The more one discovers about the universe, the more one discovers design. That's the key idea. In another sense, the more honestly you study biology, you will come to one conclusion that every form of life has design, purpose, specific way of operations. It cannot be accidental. It cannot be accidental. It has to be designed. It has to be designed. The way a lion hunts an animal, and the tiger hunts an animal, and the leopard hunts an animal, the coyotes hunts animals, the wolves, they're all different. They're all different. They're all carnivorous animals. They live on meat. But they hunt differently. What evolved from what? So the design is there, the design. You look, all the tigers hunt the same way. All the lions will hunt. You can just see the lions going, and then, the cheetah will be doing differently. It's all different. The design there, you can see somebody programmed it. Somebody programmed it. So, science is really learning an old question, The more one discovers about the universe, the more one discovers design. When all relevant lines of evidences are taken into account and all the problems squarely faced, I think we must conclude that life owes its inception to a source outside nature. It's a statement by Dean Kenyon, a great biologist. He said that I think we must conclude that life owes its inception to a source outside of nature. It has to have. When it comes to the origin of living systems and the great diversity of life, biblical Christianity maintains that to adequately account for the design observed on every level in nature, it postulates a designer, a lawgiver, an orderly first cause. Everything has laws. Everything has laws. They all follow the laws. Everything has a design. They all follow the design. You take all the birds, they have a common design. You take all the fish, they have a common design. You take the airplane that again flying in the sky, they have a common design with the bird. You take the ship that moves in the ocean, they have a common design with the fish that moves there. And you take all the land animals, living man, they have a common design. So this common design cannot come by accident. You go to a shoe store and take all the shoes in the shoe store, baby shoes, big shoes, and everything. They have a common soul. They have a common soul, yes. They have a common design. That common design cannot be accidental. It must have come from a designer. Must have come from a person who designed it. Somebody say that the small shoes, then big shoes evolved from the small shoes. Doesn't the common design shows that there is evolution? That's one hypothesis. There is another possibility. It shows common designer, common shoemaker. Why you have to say that it evolved? Doesn't need to be evolved. When God created these animals to or the fishes to share the ocean. He made something common. Because that's the only way they can. When he created birds that will share the sky, aerodynamics, he has to follow that. If aerodynamics is not flown, whether it is birds or anything, they will come down and hit. So everything God created, it has a design. So how these people will say, they say that by evolution. By evolution. They have other questions. They have to, what about these laws? Fixed laws that cannot be changed. Fixed laws that cannot be changed. Take any system, the breeding system. How is the fixed law? Somebody must have designed it. You take the plants, the male pollen is always deposited in the female, flower. You take the animal, in siring these, it is always deposited in the female animal, including man. It's never the other way. There must be. It cannot be accidentally. When you think about it, it cannot be accidental. So it must have a common designer. But whatever nobody will say that man has evolved from the plant. So it starts from there. It starts from there. You never see the female flower, female part traveling, seeking for a male, a pollen. No, you never see. And always it is in the female, the next generation comes out of the the female part, whether it is man or animal or flower, whatever it is. So it's a design. It's a design, it's a law. It's a law. So for any thinking person, he who studies biology, he has to see this common design. Charles Darwin went and saw the common design and he said that they evolved. Sorry to call him, I don't know what to call him, comes to my lips but I don't want to. That's foolishness. He should have at least said that shows that there are two options, either evolved or an intelligent person designed and created. These evolutionists, they don't even consider creation as a possibility. In every textbook, at least they should add 2 lessons. First, the lesson of creation, first, because that's what 95% of the world population believes. About the origin, a personal God has created it by His power. All the peculiar laws and everything is created and given by a personal God, the lawgiver. Maybe in lesson 2 they could say that there is another hypothesis, that all these things evolved. So biology, is a great subject, but it's misused subject. When it comes to the origin of living systems and the great diversity of life, biblical Christianity maintains that to adequately account for the design observed on every level in nature, it postulates a designer, a lawgiver, and an orderly first cause. Christians believe the creationist model described in Scripture better fits the facts of science than the evolutionary model. Christianity trusts the authority of Genesis as well as the declarations about creation, such as Mark 10:6 and Colossians 1:16. Let's read those verses. Mark 10:6.
But from the beginning of the creation, God made them male and female.
God made them male and female. The female did not evolve from the male, or the male did not evolve. They were created. God. Of course, God used Adam's rib. Actually, it doesn't say rib, The Hebrew word that is used for rib has found only there in the whole Hebrew literature. Only one place in the whole Hebrew literature, never used again, so really nobody knows what it is.
Unique rib.
Yes. So because it's taken something from the side, simply says taken something from the side. So now some Christian scientists even think that God has taken a small part of Adam's DNA, what that may have formed, and I don't know. Traditionally, that's the way it's said that. But from the beginning, God is talking about marriage in that passage and divorce and all that, what God has put. So from the beginning, it was so. So that's a declaration. Man did not evolve, man was created. Woman did not evolve, woman was created. From the beginning of humanity, it's created. It's created. That makes so beautiful a statement in comparison to other. In Colossians 1:6, Colossians 1:16, sorry, not 1:6, 1:16. For by him were all things created, that are in heaven and that are in earth, visible and invisible, whether they be thrones or dominions or principalities or powers, all things were created by him and for him. Verse 17, and he is before all things. The beautiful. All things were created by him. Bible teaches creation by a God. Creation by God. It's the emphatic, clear, authoritative, dogmatic declaration of the Bible. All things that exist, whether in heaven or on earth, are created, except the Creator, of course. So that's our scriptural position. It fits better with all the facts of science than the evolutionary model. Because the evolutionary model cannot explain how life came from matter. How life came from how life came from non-living things. How can higher forms of life came from lower forms? How can soul spirit came from creatures which has only body and principle of life? How conscience came from amoral creatures? Creatures have no morality. How all of a sudden conscience came? How language came? How the thinking power came? How feelings and emotions came? How the ability to determine came? There's 1,000 things. How the consciousness of God came. You go all through the forest and everywhere the animals live, you can examine every cave where reptiles and lions and all sleep in. You can look for any sign of their God consciousness or their capacity to worship. You never come across. You can look at the chimpanzee and all, all the other monkeys and all, no sign of any God consciousness. All of us, immediately you come to man, even the most primitive man. You can see in those caves pictures of some object of worship. Man standing there with the folded hand and all those things, signs of worship. Where this all came? If it's evolved, evolution science a higher form from the lower form, right? Evolution cannot suppose that all of a sudden something never existed came. But it came. Conscience never existed. We have dogs and cows and cats and few animals. Those creatures never had conscience. Never. Never had any love. Never had any sympathy. Nothing. I've never seen them buying a birthday gift for neither the master nor the mother nor the father. Never remembering the death date. They had never any conscience of morality. A cow gives birth to a calf, male calf, and the male calf in 2 years mate with the mother never feels guilty of incest. And no one accuses them of incest. Because they don't have morality. They don't have any conscience because, they don't have consciousness, they don't have guilty conscience. They don't have a mind to think. How can they think? So creationism, in biology, when a biologist or a scientist, he rules out God, he faces a big issue. What is the origin? The origin of a thing is an essential part of the study, right? The origin of a thing is an essential part of the study. So I always say that only a Christian biologist can understand a cow thoroughly. Because how the cow originated can be answered only by Christian scientists. Others can only have hypothesis into this way, that way, that. But the Christian doesn't have a hypothesis. He say, my God created it. My God created it. If the origin of anything is essential part of our knowledge, then only a Christian can understand it. A non-Christian cannot understand it. You ask him what do you think how it originated? Well, Darwin said this, but the modern theory says this, but tomorrow's theory will rule it out. I know that because all the theories so far ruled up. They are correcting themselves. And they will keep on correcting. So God created all things, Ephesians 3:9. God created all things. The Bible gives us the information about God and His universe, while science gives us information about the universe only. It doesn't. Where science made the mistake? When science entered into the subject is their God, science became pseudoscience. Because God doesn't come under the purview of science. Who can experiment with God? You can never. You can never experiment with God. So science, any system of knowledge, that enters into investigating how this universe operated, keeping God outside. How this universe came into existence, keeping God outside, is a false system. They just cannot come up with the correct answer. The question of origins has been a topic of much disturbances to believers during the past centuries. Many scientists treat the theory of evolution as a fact. This causes struggle for the believers to reconcile their faith in the Bible with the theory of evolution. The theory that all living things evolved from a single speck of life. The last 2 centuries, almost less than 2 centuries, at least since Darwin. Darwin came when? In 1800 something, right? So since Darwin, Christians were in a great dilemma. Because the science says that it is all evolved and millions of billions of years old and all that, and Bible says what? Very recent creation. Bishop Answer has dated Genesis 4004 BC. So 4000 BC means what? It's only 6000 plus years. But all the scientists will say that no man, 6000 years is is a new earth, it's a new earth. That's not enough. They're talking about billions and billions and trillions of years. Billions of light years they're talking about. So this is a problem. Christians were in great trouble, And because of this trouble, even some Christians turned to wrong theories. They tried to find the gap theory between Genesis 1 and 2. Because you have to accommodate for You know, you have to account for these billions of
Yes.
years. Where are you going to? So they have to create some. So they said in the beginning God created heavens and earth, verse 1. Then they say, and the world became. There is. So there was an original earth. That earth became void. So how it became? Well, then they will read into so many other things, you know. So they say that, yeah, there is an original world, there are people there, human beings there, or superhuman beings were there, and all those things were destroyed. And then what we have in Genesis is not the original creation, but the recreation. The recreation. Oh, they say, don't we read the word replenish? Doesn't that mean that read? Well, and now there is no good Christian scientist today, maybe except one person. What is his name? One theologian only who believes in gap theory and all. There's nobody. But in the early days, many Christians, they believed. Even men like Scofield, C.S. Scofield, and J.N. Darby. You know, great minds. They all believed in the gap theory because they did not know how to answer the question of the antiquity of the earth. They had no answer. But then Christians begin to study. They have come up with answers. They have come up with sufficient answers to show why this earth is young, why this earth is not very old. So actually the reconciliation is impossible from a rational perspective. Some Christians try to reconcile science and Bible through what they call theistic evolution. Ever heard that? Theistic evolution simply means that God used evolution as a means to create. Theistic evolution. God used. You can take some of the Bibles, study Bibles, there you can find theistic evolution. You watch out. Theistic evolution, So they say that, God created the first glimmer of life on earth and then directed its evolution to generate man. That's what. At least that much credit they give to God. But to say this, man has to take substantial freedom to interpret Bible the way they want. And they face most of the same arguments Christians use against evolution. Theistic evolution comes under the same category of evolution, just they have say that God used evolution. To do that, they have to interpret the Bible the way they want. Because Genesis 2 does not say, and the world became. It simply say the world was. That word haya can never became, That word does not mean, not even, it was not translated like that anywhere. So all of a sudden to fix a theory, they translated it. The earth was, the world was. They made it, the world became. Because their theory necessitated it. Now they come to Isaiah or some portion there, there's a verse says that he who created them in the beginning did not create them in void. They will jump into that verse.
So Genesis 1, 2 is was.
Yeah, was. And the earth was. What does your version say? Was. Yeah, but those who hold on to the theistic evolution and gap theory and all, they will say that word should be, the world became and the earth became.
That means the Scofield Bible is not right.
The Scofield Bible won't change here because Scofield Bible is not a translation. They use the King James translation, but they're notes. You can take Scofield Bible's notes, the old Scofield. The new Scofield, that's old Scofield, new Scofield. The new Scofield changed. Let me see that, old or new. 1843 will be the old Scofield. See, what does the whole Scofield say in the notes? The footnotes, they will have notes on verse 1 and 2.
Verse 1.
Ah.
The Bible begins with God, not with philosophic.
The verse 2, take verse 2.
Verse 2.
Two main interpretations.
Two interpretations have been advanced to explain the expression formless and empty. The first, which may be called the original chaos interpretation, regards these words as a description of an original formless matter in the first stage of the creation of the universe. The second, which may be called the divine judgment interpretation, sees in these words a description of the earth only, and that in a condition subsequent to its creation, not as it was originally.
That Isaiah, that 40.
Then Isaiah.
Yeah, that's a 40 and all. That means a subsequent, to the original. So he bring that idea. The earth became. But
The NIV footnote says, or possibly became.
or possibly became, yeah.
Is this Bible dangerous?
Well, he gives the idea that there are two. At least, this is actually the editor's notes, not the originally what Scofield. If you get the original Scofield, he will say that there is a gap
It's not
between.
original.
That's original?
No, I'm asking, this is not original.
I don't know. I can look at it. I can look at it and see whether it's the original or the footnotes. The simple way to see the editorial revision committee, 1967. So this is the editorial. The first one was only Scofield. Yeah, this is the new editors. They have changed a lot of that idea because none of them believe that. Yeah, because Scofield Bible was attacked, saying this teaches the false theory. So the new edition, they revised it. They changed a whole lot, but they still wanted to give some credibility to Scofield. So they said there are two interpretations. So this is a problem. This is a problem. We come across. So to reconcile science and evolution, our Bible and evolution, it's vain, never tried. Theistic evolution, which teaches that God created the first glimmer of life on earth and directed the evolution to generate man. But to say this, man has to take substantial freedom in interpreting the way they want. Jesus Christ declares in Mark 10:6, but at the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. That means the beginning of creation. Theistic evolutionists explain this verse to say, God created simply means God directed the formation of man and woman through evolution. That's interpretation they give. That's why I said that they have to take a lot of freedom to interpret the Bible they want. How can they say that? God created simply means God directed the formation of man and woman through evolution. God created simply has reference to the first spark of life He made in the beginning. That's the theistic evolutionist interpretation. Theistic evolutionist does not feel any contradiction with science in origin of life. However, when one examines the Word of God, the theory of theistic evolution has plenty of inconsistencies with revelation. The main argument of the theistic evolution is that God is able to use evolution for creation. God is logically capable of using any method He wants, and therefore God must have used evolution. But we could ask the same question back. If God is able to create everything the way they are, without unnecessarily interference in the natural process of things, why should God employ such a slow and complicated, cruel method of creation? Why all these big bang, 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 If God, you say that God is able to create any way He wants, and the Bible says the way He wants. He created. Then why you wanted to force other things? Because you wanted to accommodate the pseudoscience. He could create everything in a short period of 1 week. Besides, the mechanism seems extremely cruel in creating man in God's own image and likeness through this process. That will be very cruel.
Why it is cruel?
Why it's cruel? Because, God in creating God's own image through this process of evolution, then, it should have bear something to say that God also got evolved. Because it is in God's own image. So God's image, God should be creating by His own creating power, right? He should not be depending upon something so impersonal, taking so billions and billions of years. So God's image has to pass through the monkeys and all the animals.
And not to be
Huh?
shown in them.
Yeah, not to be shown in them, but it has to pass through all these